So I'm going to show you in this video a process that I've been using that I call a dual filament parts. It's essentially making a rocket part out of two different types of filament. So here's an example. This is a small test rocket that I use for testing different processes for printing rockets. This one here is made out of two parts, and each part is actually made out of two different types of filament. So for example, this one here has TPU, a flexible filament, as you can see, for the fins and this section of the body section. Everything that's in red is in TPU, and the yellow part is made out of PLA+. And so you have the rigidity and the stiffness and the strength of PLA plus where you need it, and then the flexibility to prevent broken fins is an example in this case here. And the nose cone, same thing. So the PLA in yellow is strong, and for your shock cord attachment and so forth, you want to have something strong. But the tip of the nose cone is made out of TPU, so it's flexible and soft. Now these are actually one single part, and so the technique is that there's no glue here, there's no seam, there's no interface whatsoever. It's totally seamless, and there's a technique for doing that on printers. You don't have to have dual extruders, because dual extruders can't really do this, because when you switch extruders, you're going to get blobs and missing a part of the print and so forth, because the extruder isn't fully loaded, the second one, when you come into place. So there's a technique of doing that where you essentially load the second filament while you're printing. You never stop the print. It's continuously printing. You just changing the filament while it's printing. So that's one example. So this is another example, which has kind of happened accidentally, is that this is one of my rockets, and the black part with all the threads and everything is actually PLA+, so it's tougher. It has different characteristics that are better for the job of making threads, as an example. And then this is a silk neon green filament, so it's PLA, not PLA+, so it's stiffer but a little more brittle. So in this case, PLA+ is actually better for doing threads. Now this was actually kind of accidental, because I kind of ran out of the neon green, so I just threw whatever I had, which happened to be some black PLA+ next to me. But it made this nice pinstripe, and it made the threads out of the tougher plastic. So that's another example of dual plastic parts, or dual filament parts. And I'm sure you can think of other examples that can work with this method as well.